Ed, over the years, our competition has grown, and many of our customers want to get bids. They, want to have 2 or 3 people come in and give them a price. Talk to us about, our customers getting bids and how to handle it.
Yeah, I think that's something that's really kind of consumer behavior these days, right? I mean, if I need a furnace, I'm going to get 3 bids.
Right.
I think you might feel the same way, right? And I think what it comes down to is handling it the right way. So let's say maybe it'd be great if you were the last person in, right? But if you're the last person in, you might not get a shot at it. So let's say you're the first or second person in and they've got some folks coming in behind you. I think you have to press hard enough, to kind of nudge them along to convince them to move, our way and get them to sign that day, because, we all know that if we leave there probably without some sort of commitment that we're going to be in trouble. Oftentimes that, the closure will certainly drop if we don't get it that day. But I think there are some situations, in most situations, that you're going to have to find a way to get out of there. Get out of there with some dignity and without making it uncomfortable. I think when you try to press it too hard, you can offend, right? So if you were talking to my wife and myself, and I think you might handle it the same way, if I'm getting 3 bids on a furnace, I don't care how good you are coming in the first time, right? I mean, you could be the best person, you could do everything perfect,
right?
And I'm still going to get the bids. If you step too far across trying to close me that night, you'll really reduce your chances, right? Don't make me ornery, don't make me angry. But what do you do when that happens, right? So you don't want to aggravate them, but you got to nudge enough to where hey, I told you, Ed, I really like what you did, but I'm going to get some bids. When it becomes uncomfortable for you, it's way past uncomfortable for them. Some of the best advice that I was ever given as a young guy, and it still holds to this day, is just being very agreeable with them, right? I mean, so what do? You make it personal. You take it back and you own it, If I've made a couple of close attempts and they've said, no, I'm still shopping, I'll simply do this. I would simply say, Sonia, I can certainly understand and appreciate that. Sharon and I do things much the same way. So it's kind of an opening statement that kind of lets the air out of the balloon. They say, okay, this guy is not going to close me, right? He's done, right? He's going to leave. Tying it in, making it personal. Sharon and I do things much the same way. Kind of like that's how we do it in our house too. I get you. We're right here together, right? Then one of the next things, with a little bit of a pause in there, you might want to step in and say something along the lines of, would you do me a favor? Or could you do me a favor? And when you say that, and you lay a pause on the end, nobody's ever said no to me, right? Could you do me a favor? And simply, they're going to say yes, right? So certainly understand and appreciate that. Sharon and I handle things much the same way. Pause. Would you do me a favor? Pause. They say yes. You say something along these lines. Sonia, if you can find somebody willing to do all the work that we discussed, put it in writing, back it up by the most financially sound company in the industry with a complete money-back guarantee, deferring all of the billing for all the way up to 90 days, let you walk around, make sure the work is done perfectly, and at the same time provide security screened, drug-tested employees that I showed you in my meetup, I want you to do 2 things. Another pause. I want you to buy it, and I want you to pick up the phone and call me, because I will go work for them. I'm pretty good at what I do. I sell more of this business than anybody in Ohio, and I can work for anybody I want. I choose to work here for a reason. So if you can find somebody to do all the stuff that we're going to do, put it in writing, guarantee it, buy it, pick up the phone, do me a favor. I support my family doing this every day. I'll go work for them. And I think at the end of that, what you're really talking about, Sonia, is working. Why don't we just go ahead and get this done? So you take one more shot at trying to close them. Again, it becomes a bit more humorous at that point in time. But I think you deliver your passion. Now, you can't say that if you didn't deliver something very visibly different than they're experienced or they're going to experience.
Right.
You can't say that without demonstrating that, right? All the other things that we talk about doing perfect. When you do that with passion, it's tough for them to say no. And if you don't believe it, you're probably working for the wrong company. So that's how I would handle the folks that shop.
That's nice.